Good afternoon. I'm attorney Kent Starr, and today I'm here with Marvin Ray Smith, and we just got out of a jury trial in Wood County, Texas. And Mr. Smith, what were you charged with?
Consecutive child abuse.
So, in the legal term they use is continuous sexual assault of a child.
Yes.
And after going through a jury trial, you were found not guilty, correct?
I was found not guilty.
The first time that I met you and you were in jail, your exact words is, "I'll give my life to Christ. I didn't do it."
Yes, sir, that's exactly what I said.
And we went through the jury trial, so all the police officers have testified, the alleged victims testified, your witnesses have testified. How do you think you got treated by this system, specifically in Wood County, Texas?
I believe that the system failed me a little bit because when it first started going on, my daughter brought me the investigator's name, and I went up there to interview with him, and he didn't care. I tried to interview with him and say, "Hey, how could this be happening?"
So you volunteer before you got arrested. You voluntarily were interviewed for in excess of 5 hours, correct?
Yes, sir, I sure was.
And you brought down a list of alleged witnesses that were present when this allegedly occurred. And what did the officer do with that sheet of paper?
When I first walked into the interview room and stuff, I said, "Here, these are people that are witnesses that was there the whole time and everything." And he looked at it and he wadded it up and he threw it over the table and he says, "You need to do another one." And right then I knew that I was kind of like everything fell out from under me.
And we have also Tina Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Smith's spouse. You testified in the trial as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Marvin listed you as a possible witness because you were there when this incident allegedly occurred. Did anybody from the police department ever contact you?
No, sir.
And of the 18 people that you provided to the Wood County Sheriff Department to contact, were you aware of anybody being contacted?
No one was contacted whatsoever.
And during your trial, the officers even admitted they didn't contact anybody, correct?
Yes, sir. They admitted that they didn't contact anyone. They were just going off what the child was saying.
Okay. And just whenever you remember whenever I was doing voir dire, when they brought the 100 people in for your prospective jurors,
Yes, sir.
and I asked them, because it's been said, therefore it must be.
Yes, sir.
And there were jurors that raised their hand and said, "Well, you've been indicted, you've been accused, it must be true," correct?
Yes, sir. They sure did.
And some of those police officers testified in your trial said, "Well, the alleged child victim said it, so why do I need to investigate it?" Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's exactly how it went.
And during your jury trial, I explained to you that you have a Fifth Amendment right, which protects anybody from what we call self-incrimination. You don't have to take that stand.
Yes, sir. You sure did.
And you took the stand in your own defense. You gave up your Fifth Amendment privilege and you testified on your own behalf during your trial, correct?
Yes, sir. I sure did.
And in addition to you providing 5 hours of testimony to the district attorney, the police officers, did they ever follow up with any investigation with you?
None whatsoever.
Okay. And whenever you gave them that sheet, they basically just crumbled up your evidence and said, "We don't need it."
That's exactly what they said, sir. And I told them from the get-go, I said, "He's lying." I mean, they're lying. They're lying. And they just, from my past, they just took it from there.
And it's kind of like whenever I was voir diring the jury, that a lot of the liberal media, because it's been said it must be, everybody's a victim, and because it was said against you, you were guilty. That's the way you feel that you were treated?
And that it was a child, yes, that is exactly the way I was treated.
And you were arrested, and you were actually detained in jail for in excess of a year and a half, correct?
Yes, I was.
And whenever you got up to testify, you admitted that you've had, how many felonies have you had?
I've had 32 felony convictions from 1987 to 2005.
Okay. And you're still on parole till
2035.
Okay. You have not committed a crime in the last 30 years, correct?
I'd say 25.
Well, in the last 25 years.
Yes, sir.
But because you had those prior crimes, you're on parole, they wouldn't let you out of jail even though you were not convicted of this case.
Yes, sir, that's exactly it.
And you lost 1.5 years of your life just being accused, correct?
Yes, sir, I sure did.
And then after your jury trial, it still took how long for you to get out of jail?
After the jury trial and I was found not guilty, I still had to go back and allow the parole to vote on me to see if they wanted to do something about me just being locked up for being accused of it.
Okay. Which obviously you were accused, found not guilty.
Yes.
Parole ends up releasing you, so
Yes,
you're
they did.
back in society.
Yes, I am.
And whenever we talk about your case, you want other people to know that you're a born again Christian. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what I want everybody to know.
And your church congregation came down to every single hearing and every motion to compel that I filed to get evidence on your case. Is that correct?
That's exactly it, sir.
And we went to trial not having all the evidence on your case. Is that correct?
No, sir. The judge denied a lot of it because him and the district attorney decided that we didn't need to see what was in
just some of the other records.
Yes, sir.
But I filed motions to compel and motions to include unredacted copies for the Court of Appeals.
Yes, sir, you sure did.
And we still went to trial anyway. And how long did that jury deliberate on your case?
That jury went in there and was back within 20 minutes.
A 20-minute not guilty.
20-minute not guilty. And you wouldn't understand. I was scared, but I was found not guilty. I couldn't tell you the emotion that I had after that.
And I remember before we went out there, you got on your hands and knees and you were praying.
Yes.
And speaking about Corinthians.
What I did is before I went to trial, I went in there and found out everything in the Bible, what it says about lies and everything. And I read that back and I kept that in my mind, and about not being afraid, that God was my shield and stuff. I read the lies back to God and said, this is what you said about this, but I felt on the afraid because I was scared going in there. I was scared.
Because it's, even though you're innocent until proven guilty, we had to go and disprove the fact that you did not commit this continuous sexual assault. Do you feel that that's what we did?
I feel, God, that when you were cross-examining the person that was accusing me, that God opened the door and showed you some things that was being said and stuff, and you pointed them out, and the door was blew wide open behind that.
Yeah, well, and I appreciate you and your family believing in me throughout this whole entire 1.5 years, because every time I met, you told me, I'll give God my life, correct?
Yes, sir, I sure did.
And whenever you were initially being arraigned right before your jury trial, you remember we were on the record and I said, Mr. Smith, I do not have a plea offer on your case because you've never asked for a plea offer. Can you state, what did you tell that court about a plea offer?
I looked straight at the judge and I said, I wouldn't care if you give me time served. I'm not signing that paper for something I didn't do. And I was looking at a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
Because that continuous sexual assault of a child is what we call a super aggravated first-degree felony, and you know that.
It's worse than murder.
Because murder actually starts off at 5 to 99 years, and a continuous sexual assault starts off at 25 years to life, and there's no parole day for day for day.
Yes, sir.
So the minimum they could have given you would have been 25 all the way up to life if you would have been convicted.
Yes, sir, that's exactly it. But I'm 100% they would have tried to give a life sentence.
Yeah.
I really do believe that, but God proved himself because God did what he said he would do.
Well, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day, and I'm glad that you're a free man.
Yes, sir.
It's very humbling for me as an attorney to sit down and fight a case. And whenever somebody comes to me and says, I'll give my life to God, I didn't do it, there's no better statement that you can make. But whenever you were in your jury trial and I was cross-examining those police officers, one of the police officers made a comment. You asked him, are you a Christian?
I asked the police officer that I tried to give all the names and stuff of the witnesses and stuff. I asked him, I said, do you believe in Jesus? And he told me, no, why should I do that? And that's when my heart really fell. Because I knew I was up against something else.
Well, and his statement during your trial was, anytime somebody talks about God, that's a red flag of their guilt. Correct?
They try to use it as a crutch to get out of trouble.
And then you adamantly denied these allegations during your 5-hour interrogation. Is that correct?
I've denied them to everybody, even my church, to everybody. I didn't do it.
Okay. And the police officer during your trial, he said whenever somebody denies it, that's a red flag they did it. Remember him stating that?
Yes, sir, I sure do.
So by you denying it, that's a red flag that you did it. By you asking him, are you a Christian, that's a red flag you did it. And not one officer, not one DPS officer, nobody investigated anything on your case. Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement. They have a thing that's called forensics that you go through, and it's open-ended questions. And the open-ended questions leaves room for a child to lie. I mean, once he starts on a lie and he don't get in trouble or there's no held of accountability to it, he just keeps on because he thinks that he can keep on with it.
And you're found not guilty, lost a year of your life, your family's been traumatized, your wife's been traumatized, and
it's took every bit of the money that I had, and plus friends and family and church members have all stepped up and helped me through something that I couldn't help myself with, and I'm very blessed that all the letters that I've had come in, all the visits that I had come in, all the help, because my wife's got she's got a disability now where her spine and stuff she's got 3 deteriorated things on her spine, and the church family's been a blessing to me.
And the church family's stepped up for your family while
Yes.
you're being incarcerated. You were an innocent man.
Yes, sir. And they believed in me.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's something that you find rare.
that's rare. And they stood by you at every single hearing, every motion, every day of jury trial. They were there, correct?
Even by the phone to you, yes, they were there.
Yeah, and every time I'd come down there to visit you, it was always surprising that random people would be at the jail with you when I would show up.
Yes, sir.
And say, hey, you Mr. Starr, you're here to visit Mr. Smith. But Mr. Smith, I just want to tell you on behalf of my law firm, have me personally, it's very humbling that you got a not guilty.
I can't say nothing else. I mean, you don't know what it feels like when you go up against a stacked deck.
Yeah, and your deck was stacked.
I felt my deck was stacked. I felt that I was a pawn being pawned off, but you come through there, you stepped up, and God used you in a way that I'm humbled that we went through the things we went through, and I appreciate everything, sir.
You bet. Well, thank you very much on behalf of Starr Law, and thank you very much for your time. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank